Hey Jessica, how's it going?
Oh, it's okay.
It's a big sigh.
Yeah.
Just okay?
Yeah, it's just life's not fair.
Life's not fair. What's not fair about life?
Well, my parents are divorced, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And my mom remarried Steve, and he is so annoying.
He's annoying.
Yes.
What's annoying about him?
He's just not fair. He treats my sister like she's something special. I have to do chores all the time, and she doesn't have to do anything, and I have to do everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Your sister, so is your sister and you, so your mom married, or remarried your stepdad, or remarried to your stepdad, Steve, and your stepdad, is he your sister's stepdad too? Or your sister's real dad?
That's his real daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's kind of a new sister. New sister.
Yeah, she's a new sister. I could probably do better without her though.
I'll do better without her.
Yeah, she's just obnoxious, and she always gets her way, and I have to suffer all the time.
How old is she?
She's like 5.
5. Okay.
Mhm.
She's a little younger than you.
Mhm.
And it sounds, so you're feeling kind of annoyed by her and having a new sister, it sounds like. It's a new transition for you.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really frustrating because she just goes on and on and on, and just is always talking, and then she wants ice cream, we go get ice cream, but if I want ice cream, then no, I have to wait, or she always just gets what she wants immediately.
It seems like an unfair situation.
Yeah, it's so unfair.
Yeah. I can see where you're frustrated.
Yeah, it's just, she gets everything she wants, and at Christmas time, she got way more presents than I did.
Yeah. So when did your mom get remarried to your stepdad?
It was like, I don't know, it was pretty young. It was like probably like 6 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've been kind of with you guys for a little while. A while now.
Yeah. Way too long.
Way too long. Did you always, I guess, have you always felt like this? Have you always kind of felt like that you were annoyed by your family members?
Yeah, because Steve just isn't fair, and he's mean, and he makes me do everything while she just has to sit around watching TV, and I have to do the dishes, and I have to vacuum, and I have to sweep, and she just sits there and gets to watch TV and eat ice cream, and while I have to do all the work, and she doesn't have to do anything.
And this has been going on since they came. Obviously she wasn't born yet, but this kind of, the way you've been treated seems like it's been going on since they came into your life?
Yeah, it's all his fault. He's just not fair. It's just annoying.
You seem annoyed, like I can feel it, kind of the tension coming off you right now. You seem really like frustrated with the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want things to go back the way they were. Like, I miss my dad, my real dad, and my mom, and just all being together. It just was perfect back then.
Where is your real dad?
He's in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay. So that's quite a ways.
I don't know, I get to see him in the summertime, but it's just, so only for a couple weeks, and I think every other Christmas I get to go there too. But it's just, most of the time I have to be stuck with Steve, his stupid little daughter.
Sounds like it's not enough. Like, you get to see your mom a lot, but you don't really seem like you get to see your dad a lot. And that must be frustrating as well.
Yeah, I wish I could see him all the time too. Cause I don't want to be with him, because then I wouldn't be able to see my mom. But then if I'm here with my mom, I don't get to see him. So it's just, I can never win. Everything's not fair.
Yeah, it sounds a little unfair. It sounds a lot unfair, actually.
Yeah, they should have just worked it out. It would have been way better.
Yeah. What was it like when they were, before they divorced? What was your parents' relationship like?
We did fun things together. Like, we went to Disneyland one time together. That was really fun. And it's just so much better back then. And I have to do all the responsibilities that I have now.
And you haven't, so those are kind of new responsibilities?
Yeah, they always are asking me to do stuff all the time. and always getting on my back about getting my homework done, and just they're always yelling at me about something.
Yeah. So it feels like you get yelled at a lot.
Mhm.
It's like you always have to do all the work and all the homework and.
Yeah, she doesn't even have homework either.
Yeah.
So it's not fair.
Yeah.
She should do something. She doesn't have to do homework like I do.
Well, you're telling me that kind of some of these responsibilities are a little bit more new. Did you have to do responsibilities like this when you were, her age?
Well, no, I don't think
I guess what kind of
so.
responsibilities did you have back, when you were that age?
I don't think I really had any, because we were with my dad, and he would never let me be treated like that, having to do all that work. So I didn't have to do anything because this was my dad and my mom, and they were together, and everything was perfect.
So it sounds like Steve has a lot of qualities that you really don't like, but it also sounds like he kind of is like your dad, the way your dad kind of covered for you and helps you out back when you were 5, he made you do a lot, he didn't treat you like that. He doesn't seem to do that for his daughter. How does that make you feel? That, I guess what I see is kind of a connection between that aspect of it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she is kind of little, so that's probably why she doesn't have to do as much. But when she gets to be my age, she better have to do work too, because it's not fair that I have to do everything all the time.
Yeah, it sounds frustrating that you have to get to watch her, or you watch her get to sit and play and watch TV while you have to do work. It just seems like unfair because you have to be reminded that you don't get to do that right then. That sounds like a lot of where the frustration comes from.
Yeah.
And I would be frustrated with that too. I would absolutely be frustrated with that. So I understand that. I'm so sorry that you have to feel like that at home sometimes.
Yeah. I just wish I didn't have to do like so much all the time and he would have to be on my back about every single little thing.
So what does it look like when he gets on your back, when he comes at you and makes you do all this work and tells you to do your homework? What does that scenario look like? Like, how do you respond? How does he talk to you?
Well, he usually will tell me to do something, and then I'll just say, give me a couple minutes, I don't want to start that right now. And then he gets on me again a couple minutes later, and I'm not ready to vacuum yet or something, or busy doing something else, and he wants me to drop everything I'm doing to go to the vacuum or to do the dishes, and it's stupid.
So it kind of feels like it's kind of stupid that he keeps bothering you about it. It sounds like it's kind of a bother.
Yeah, it's always bothering me. Just needs to just leave me alone.
Yeah, that does sound frustrating. And how often are there moments? I guess how often is he coming at you? Multiple times where you're actually doing what you're supposed to, like what he's telling you to do.
Well, I guess if I'm actually doing one of the chores, he quits bothering me. If I'm doing dishes, he doesn't bother me when I'm doing that.
So what's an ideal situation for you in that scenario? Like, if you could pick any, like to have, to get the work done, because obviously it sounds like he's not going to change his mind and make you stop doing work or let you, not do any of that work. How would you want him to kind of come at you respectfully about that sort of thing? How would you want to be treated in that situation?
Well, I guess if they just gave me a list of things I had to do like once a week or something, instead of like always telling me something to do every day. Like if I just had like a set list or something that I would just have to do and then not have to worry about anything else, like that would just make more sense probably if I just had a couple things that I knew I was responsible for instead of always getting yelled at for not doing something.
Like instead of having him come talk to you every single day, springing up new stuff, it's like you go home and you see that already. It sounds like that would be kind of an ideal situation for you because you get to do it at your pace, but you still know what you're supposed to be doing. That doesn't sound like that much. That doesn't sound like you're asking that much, or that you're that sounds like a very understandable option for you, and I think that could work for you. How do you think he would feel about a situation like that?
He would probably be okay with it, but as long as his stupid chores were getting done and the house was clean, I'm sure he'd be okay with it, I guess.
And so how would it look if he, if you, let's say you brought this situation to him, how would it look if he said no? And he just crushed the idea and said, you know what, I don't want to do it that way. We do it my way or the highway. How would you feel, and what would that look like?
I would be really mad and I'd probably yell at him. And then I would probably just not even listen to him anymore. If he's not going to listen to me, then why should I listen to him?
Yeah, so it sounds like that would be like the worst case scenario. And so how do you feel about like that happening? I guess how if you said you'd yell at him, you'd get angry at him. Is that something that worries you?
Yeah, I don't like to argue, and it just stresses me out when he's yelling. It makes me feel stressed out, and then I start to yell, and it's an uncomfortable situation.
So you guys, it seems like you guys fight like that a little bit every now and then. How often do you have, you guys yell at each other? How often does that happen?
Probably every other day at least.
Yeah. It's a lot. It sounds like a lot.
Yep. That's Steve for you. He's always yelling about something.
Sounds like it's exactly what you said, frustrating to come home to.
Yeah, I don't even want to be there if he's going to be around.
So, let's say with your home situation on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would you describe it, like going home? Is it a 10 and you hate being there? Is it a 1 and you love it, it's your favorite place? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your home situation?
Probably 8.
An 8. Okay. It's pretty high up there. I think that's important that that you were able to kind of speak how you're feeling about it, and for me to understand that too, because that's something I'm concerned with. If it's an 8, I really want to figure out a way to help you with that, because I don't want you to have to go home and feel like that every single day. That's a really tough situation. So you said that one way that you could fix, some of this stuff could be fixed is making you a list and him doing, setting out something for you that's already preset so you can take care of it. Do you think that's something that you would follow through on? Or how would you know or would think to follow through on that?
Well, I could just, maybe if I had like a list every week, I could just like check things off once I completed them. It could just be like a routine, like I come home from school and I vacuum. And then for the rest of the night I could do whatever I wanted to do or something like that.
So it seems like, when he reminds you, how am I going to word this? When he reminds you, you kind of put it off for a few minutes and you kind of get distracted or maybe do something else that you want to do more or you're busy with. How are you going to keep that consistent, but for, being your own motivator? How's that going to stay consistent?
Well, if I had like a visual list of things that I had to do, it might be helpful for me to just check it off, because sometimes if he asks me to do something, I forget, and then I get busy doing something else, and then he gets mad at me. But if I had that list that I could actually see, then it might be helpful to remember to do those things.
Yeah, it's more of a visual instead of a in your ear chit chat. So it sounds like that'd be a better situation for you.
Yeah, the less interactions I have to do with him would be the best.
So I guess, do you think that is kind of the main focus of your guys' problems, you and your stepdad, the reasons you're not getting along with him very well? Do you feel like that's a big part of it?
Yeah, if he wasn't around so much, and he would just go away, and then my life would be so much better.
Do you think that would happen?
Probably not. I don't know why my mom even likes this guy, but he's probably not going anywhere.
Yeah, you talk about a lot of the things about him that aren't really that great, and it sounds like
he's an awful person.
Yeah. And has there ever been a time, at any point when he's come into your life that has been good? Anything about him that you do like, or
nope.
No.
Nothing.
And that's fine. If he's, if that's the type of guy he is to you, that's how you feel, and how you feel is not wrong. I'm sorry. That seems like a tough situation. And I'm really sorry that you have to go home and feel like that. So do you feel like working on talking, or how would you go about bringing up this list idea to him? Do you feel like that's something you want to do? You want to work on in here?
Well, I'd rather talk to my mom about it than him. Because I don't even want to talk to him ever.
So how would you go about, putting this into place? This idea of yours?
I could tell my mom, and then my mom can tell Steve to do that.
How would that go? How do you think that would go if she went to him and talked to him about it after you
Well, it was her idea. He would probably go with it.
You think so? But you don't think he'd go with it if it was your idea?
No, because he just despises me and wants to ruin my life and make me miserable.
No, let's see. You feel like he wants to make you miserable and ruin your life. What makes you think that specifically?
He's just an awful person. And anytime I want to do something, it's no. And then it's just always that way.
Yeah. And your mom is different? Treats you differently than that?
Mhm.
And how does she treat you?
She listens to me.
Yeah.
And she spends time with me, and she just doesn't yell at me as much as he does.
Yeah, it seems like you and your mom have a really good relationship.
Mhm.
And do you get so in like these situations, since I've only met with you once, who do you go and talk to about this sort of thing? And like when you're having problems like this, who are you able to talk to?
Well, sometimes I'll call my dad and talk to him about stuff.
And how does he respond? Like, what does he say when you bring up, problems with the family and that sort of thing?
Well, he doesn't really like my mom that much, so he's not surprised that she married someone as awful as Steve.
And so how does he help you through these situations?
Well, he'll talk about all the fun things that we're going to do this summer when I come over, so it makes it better, because it gives me something to look forward to.
Good. Good. I'm glad you feel like you're able to talk to him about that, because this is a heavy amount of stuff you're carrying. And I would be really concerned if you didn't have anyone to talk to. So I'm happy that he's there for you. So it sounds like this list idea is an idea that is pretty manageable and something that could work. And if you think it'll work, if you think you want to do it, is that somewhere something you would want to work on here if we're working together?
Yeah, I can do that.
So we can set goals in here. This is completely your, session. We can do whatever you want with it. If we want to set a goal, we can work on it for the next few sessions and, go from there. Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Sounds good. So I like your list idea. I love that you're thinking about what could be better. And I love that you're actually, it's, I can't get the word. I'm glad that you're motivating yourself to think about that sort of thing and try to figure something out. And so you said you'd talk to your mom, and that'd be something you want, that'd be a way to go about it. So is that a goal that you want to set maybe for this week, for the next week or so? And
yeah, I can talk to her about that and work on making a list.
And so I don't know your mom very well. I don't know your family dynamic. So I want to explore kind of another worst case scenario. If you went to her and you said, I want to implement this list, and you want to implement this list, and she said, what if she came to you and said, well, why don't I want you to talk to him about that. I think it'd be a good idea for you to talk to him. How would you feel about that? And I don't know her. Maybe she would never say that. Maybe she would. I have no idea. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what would happen if something like that happened.
I don't know. I guess I could try talking it with him, maybe. But I shouldn't have to talk to him, because she's a parent too, so she should be able to make decisions without him.
I understand why you feel that way. I totally understand that. So is that something you want to explore in here in this session today? Kind of like how it would go to talk to him? Because it seems like you have such a good relationship with your mom that you could easily talk to her about this, but it seems like it'd be a lot more difficult to talk to your stepdad.
Yeah.
So do you want to do some kind of, my idea, and a lot of times I'll do this in sessions, is we could try like a role-playing scenario, or I could set you up and basically, so it kind of sounds weird, so humor me a little bit. We could set up like an empty chair, and that'd be like where your stepdad is sitting, and you could just sit in here for a minute and, tell him as if he's here everything you want to say about what, this idea of yours. And that'd be something where it'd be you being able to just get your words out, kind of understand what you want to say, and, practice a little bit. Or we could role play maybe, and I could be your stepdad, and you could kind of tell me the attitude to have, or I could, I could be really mean, and then we could see how you felt about that. Or
okay, I want to do that.
Want to try that? Role playing? Okay. That sounds good. Do you want me to kind of, would you rather have me reject the idea and we can practice that, or would you rather have me accept it? I guess.
Reject it.
Reject it? Okay. And if at any point you want to stop the role playing, like you can totally stop me if it gets uncomfortable at any point. Just, you can let it go and we won't have to do that anymore. This is just kind of for you. So it's completely, I'm going to let you completely take the role on this. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll be your stepdad. Start whenever you're ready.
So, Steve, I've been thinking that instead of you always yelling at me and giving me all these responsibilities and chores, that you could just give me a set list of chores that I have to complete for the week. And that way you wouldn't have to yell at me all the time and tell me what to do. And then I could just have that list to follow instead of you yelling at me like you always do.
I don't yell at you at all. I use this tone. I don't yell at you. I don't know what you're talking about. And I think that's really rude of you to say. I never yell at you. And I could yell at you and I would be really
But
rude,
you
I'm
do.
so nice.
You do yell at me.
I yell at you? I don't
Yes.
think I yell at you at all.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. I think I would have to yell at you or raise my tone with you a little bit. I think I raised my tone maybe. But I don't think I'd have to do that if I didn't have to remind you to do your chores 5 times. I think that's ridiculous.
If you just give me some space, I would just get it done.
I give you time. You say give you 5 minutes, and I give you 5 minutes. and you
Sometimes
do it.
I need more than 5 minutes to finish something that I'm working on. I have lots of homework.
But I have to remind you like 5 times in an hour. Like that's ridiculous.
No, you don't. You don't have to remind me. I remember. I just need more time sometimes.
Well, that's not acceptable. You need to do your chores. You need to balance. You need to prioritize and balance your stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it there. So how did that feel? To have him kind of come at you like that?
Just miserable. Can't
Yeah.
stand the guy. He's so annoying and just mean.
Yeah, I kind of felt annoyed by myself in that scenario. Like I think that was really hard to. I would have trouble talking to someone who would respond to me like that. So if that's how if that's the way he would respond, I'm sorry that you have to deal with that, or I'm sorry you have to take that on a little bit. So what could have gone differently in that scenario to made it? What could have? I guess we can't obviously change everyone, and you can't tell him what to say. So what could maybe you do in that situation? What do you want to get out of that situation? What could you change to get what you want in that?
Maybe I could change my tone of voice, and maybe not bring up him yelling at me. Instead, just ask him the question, not bring up all the other stuff. If that goes on.
What minute? What time are we at?
23.
Those sound like great ideas. I love those, and it sounds like it would disengage his anger a little bit if you maybe if you talked calmly. Like I seem like, I don't know him, but I got defensive because you were kind of telling me that I yell at you all the time, and then you got really mad at me when I was trying to defend myself, and not that I would be like that in real life, of course, but I like those ideas. I think that'd be good, and I think that could help the situation. Do you want to try it again and try it with those and change those couple things, see what happens?
Yeah, we might as well.
I'll be your step.
So, Steve, I was thinking that maybe it would be better if we had like a chore list for me to do each week. That way I know what I have to do every day for chores. I think it would just make things easier that way.
Sure. We might be able to do something like that. If you want, you probably have to make it though, and I can tell you what goes on it, because that's kind of your responsibility. But that might be something we could talk about. How would you know how you're going to get it done? Like, I have to remind you a lot to get your chores done. How would you know?
I could check each chore off each week, and then maybe if I get them all done, maybe we could go get ice cream or something on Friday after school.
It'd be nice not to have to remind you 10 times in an hour. That would be kind of nice. We could talk about that. Maybe if you make a list, we can talk about it, and we can all look over it, and we can figure it out and see how do you feel about that?
I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So break. So how did that feel?
That felt better because nobody was yelling or raising with a mean tone or anything. So it felt better.
I tried to be a little bit still kind of strict and still kind of that authoritative role, because I wanted to kind of see if maybe that's how he would react. Maybe he'd still have those things, but you did a really good job. You didn't freak out on me when I said it's your responsibility. I kind of put stuff on you. I really was like, you need to do your stuff, and you didn't get angry, and you totally took it calmly, and I like that. I thought that was way better.
Yeah, me too.
I think you have do you feel like you have, or what do you feel like your chances are that you'll get what you want out of that situation by taking that approach versus the other.
I think it's like a 90% chance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a little bit more, so quite a bit more actually. So I like that. That actually went really well. And like I said, I don't know how he is. He could be total opposite from the way I talk to you in here. And so, it's never a perfect situation. I can't guarantee. I know what he's going to say. He might totally reject this idea, but he might love this idea. He might take the pressure off him to stop bugging you or how he feels. So, do you feel like this is something you could do? Like talking to him, if you had to, obviously. Maybe you won't even have to, but how are you feeling about that at this point?
I could talk to him. I could even maybe talk to him tonight.
Seems like it's a little bit of a turnaround from, when you came in, you were like, I don't want to talk to him at all. I don't like him. I want to avoid him at all costs. So it sounds like you're a lot more comfortable now.
Yeah, because the sooner we get this implemented, then the less he can bug me about it.
It's true. It's true. You're going to get a lot less of that yelling and a lot less of that nagging. I think that would be great for you. I think your guys' relationship would at least get a little bit better, even if, some areas still have some work to do. At least that would be one less thing you'd have to worry about. So, do you feel like that's a goal you want to set this week? Talking either to him or even talking to your mom or talking to him? I like that.
I can do that maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow night.
So this week, so you want to do it the next couple of days, within a couple of days? And I'll meet with you next week, of course, to work with it. And this is a goal for you. Like, if you decide you don't want to do it, it's completely up to you. Totally, if you decide, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to get mad at you. It's all about what you want to do in these sessions. So don't feel like this is homework for you. It's only up to you if you want to. And I'll check in with you next week. And if you don't, we'll move on to something else. Or if you do, well, great, awesome. Whatever works for you, though. So you want to accomplish that this week and specifically sit down and talk to him or maybe talk to your mom, whatever works first or whatever, works better. So that's a goal we can set this week. That sounds great. So as we're wrapping up the session, today we talked a lot about, your situation with your stepdad. We talked a lot about your situation with your, step-sibling, your stepsister, and your relationship with your mom. And I kind of got to learn a lot more about that this session, and I'm glad you shared that with me. That was really, that's a lot. That's a lot of heavy stuff. So I appreciate that you're willing to share that with me and talked about a goal. And I guess what is the goal that you're going to accomplish this week? Or
talk to Steve about making a chore chart instead of him yelling at me all the time.
I like it. And I like how you figured out a different way to approach it. I think that's great. And I would keep that for when you take on this goal. All right. So, I will see you next week. Around the same, I'll play that at the same time.
All right.
Sounds
good. Thank you.